to you by our friends of the British Council. Hey everybody, welcome back to Rugby Wrap-Up. Matt McCarthy here at the Fantasy Sports Network, Studio 34 on West 35th Street in New York City, and we have a great show for you today. In the studio, we have none other than the great, the legendary Phaidra Knight, Steve Lewis, the Elite Sevens coach turned rugby business consultant turned extremely good and interesting pundit of rugby. And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention our friend from the far north in Vancouver, Daniel Tanner of 99 Social, calling in via Skype in British Columbia. Yeah, got the provinces right. Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Phaidra, before we continue, I just want to know if you know what number 137 is.
Perhaps I do.
You want to take a shot at it for the car and the right to play for some Lee press-on nails?
Absolutely. You can keep the Lee press-ons, though. It's the number of my induction, or I'm the 137th.
Ding, 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 ding. Circle gets the square. She is correct. And Hall of Fame, World Rugby Hall of Fame inductee number 137. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
And I've had the pleasure of seeing you play rugby for a long time, and you are one hell of a rugby player, I might add. Yeah.
So I retired.
The cleats completely hung up?
I don't know. I'll play a little bit of social, probably in the summer, but yeah, I think I'm done.
I pity the fool that lines up across from you in a social match these days. All right, all right. So Dan, your backstory basically is that you are from Essex, England. You saw a young lady or met a young lady who was playing across the road for a different rugby club. You became involved. You followed her back to Vancouver, where she's from, Canada, and you brought your umbrella with you.
Yeah, we were playing for rival clubs in Reading. I was playing for Reading Abbey, and she was playing for the actual proper Reading team across the road. And we started dating, and about 18 months later, she moved back to Vancouver, and I came with her.
Nice. Nice. So that 99 Social, a.k.a. Pints and Scrums, that's basically you were disgruntled going to a rugby pub in Vancouver and them not showing the matches the way you were accustomed to. You decided to start your own little wave, your own little movement, and here, cut to now, you guys are booming with a little entity where you set up matches, social aspect of matches to watch them, and events, right?
Yeah, we work with bars across Canada, setting up Six Nations events. We work around the Canada Sevens in March, and we basically spread the word of social activities in rugby and make sure that that's kept as important as the progressive sort of elite stuff on the field.
All right, so you're on this show because basically you were livid on Twitter, ranting like a madman about Manu Tuilagi's citing.
Yeah, yes. The fact that it was a sighting at all was absolutely disgraceful, and you've got people all across Twitter, from sort of lowly social media figures like myself up to the man himself, Brian O'Driscoll, commenting saying how atrocious the decision was. Yeah,
O'Driscoll basically said, "I think the game has gone soft if we're picking up on the marginal collisions like the Manu Tuilagi tackle he's been cited for." Brian O'Driscoll. Yeah, so you're in good company with your complaint, but Phaidra, you're an NBC analyst. You guys are covering the Premiership. I don't know if you saw the incident where Tuilagi in his first game back, questionable high tackle, not according to Daniel and many people out there. Any word on that in your neck of the woods?
I didn't see the match to see if there was video available online, and I didn't find it. But I'm guessing that, as I'm a World Rugby judicial officer too, and I know that, any contact made with the head in the process of a tackle would result in a citing. I haven't seen the video, so I can't speak necessarily to whether it was or wasn't in my, expert opinion. But, I'm sure that if it's something that's going to be deliberated, there'll be opportunity, right, to bring any differing evidence to the table.
Steve?
penalty at max, but the thing is with Tuilagi, he's got a record, and consequently he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt. However, on this one, I think he was innocent. I don't think it should have been cited.
Well, let's take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
All right, everybody, how's it going? We sip, we peel, and we slide? Nah, like this. We sip, we peel, we win. I think I'm getting this.
Grab a large or extra large freshly ground, freshly brewed hot coffee for your chance to win great prizes like free coffee for a year. Get your celebration ready. Dunkin' Donuts. This is coffee. This is winning.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Rugby Wrap-Up. Matt McCarthy here with our guests, Dan Tanner of 99 Social, Mr. Steve Lewis, the Elite Sevens coach / business consultant, and Phaidra Knight, the Hall of Fame rugby player turned NBC analyst. Lady and gentlemen, Europeans Champions Cup. Dan, let's go around the panel, starting with you. What have you liked so far, and what are you looking for out of the Europeans Champions Cup?
I'm looking for the English team to do a little better. I went down the list of them. There's 6 of them that are out or almost mathematically out, with only Bath with a strong chance of qualifying. So once again, we're gonna be a bit short in the knockout stages. But I've absolutely, apart from the citing of Manu Tuilagi, which wasn't Munster's fault, Munster have been epic in this tournament, and I can't wait to see them progress. And I'd love for this to be a Munster year. I've always been I'm actually a London Irish fan at heart, but I've always been sort of a closet Munster supporter as well.
Steve, the curse of Vern Cotter.
Yeah, well, actually, with the exception of my team Glasgow, who dropped 2 to Montpellier, and Vern Cotter, former Scotland coach, I think one of the really interesting things is the success of Pro 14 teams. I mean, you look at the Irish Triumvirate, Leinster, Munster, and Ulster all did the double over English teams. You look like Scarlets are going to qualify, Ospreys are going to qualify. And this was the league that the tournament was reconfigured so to give English and French teams more opportunity. The French have taken it. My southern cousins have not.
That would be you guys.
That would be you, Dan.
Well, he's a Vancouverite.
He's a well-known Essex venter from Vancouver.
Phaidra, what are you taking away from the
Ditto. I'm
tournament?
going to echo Dan's comments. I'd like to see the European presence, improved over the remaining venues for it. So.
Yeah, you've seen Saracens having a hard time lately too, like 7 in a row.
Yeah, so as your previous guests here, the Premiership boys.
Yes.
Wayne Morris and Dallin Stanford, they would have a tricky day today answering this question.
Well, you actually, your big pick of the week was Glasgow.
No, I was 4 out of 5 that week.
All right, but your biggie, which I lost the mortgage on, was Glasgow. Phaidra, NBC, do they kind of fret when they see the English team struggling in the European Cup, or does it matter to them?
I think their focus is on the Viva Premiership.
Maybe they'll have more rousing competition, because if they're eliminated from the European Cup and they're all going for the Premiership trophy, then it's a whole different animal.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Steve, you look like you wanted to say something there. You burst in.
Yeah, no, I mean, the NBC want Premiership teams to do well. I mean, that's their competition. And this is just an off year. It's just an off month for the Premiership. They're a strong league. But yeah, they probably want more success coming from those teams.
Dan, you brought up your English teams. Bath staying alive with that big win, and Anthony Watson in the process, perhaps unseating Mike Brown as the fullback for England?
Well, he's been there or thereabouts, hasn't he, forever? And the problem is that those two players are so different in their strengths. Mike Brown's a bit more of a scrapper, and he's consistent, and Anthony Watson has more sort of speed and flair. And
Eddie Jones was there watching the match. And one of the big worries, or a worry, not a big worry, but a worry about Watson was under the high ball and defensively, and he was sound.
He was also one of the unsung heroes of the Lions tour. I'm almost sure he was the one that resulted in the red card to Sonny Bill Williams when, on an attacking move, he took a bit of a sly elbow. Didn't complain about it, got back up. They assessed him, and he got back on the field and carried on running. And you could never ask me which one I would select to start in that position as an England fan. It's not a question I could answer. always want both of them in the team, I think.
With that, we're going to end this, unfortunately, but I want to thank Mr. Dan Tanner of 99 Social. You can find him on Twitter at Pints and Scrums. And Steve Lewis, the Elite Sevens coach, rugby pundit, and rugby business consultant extraordinaire. And the legend that is Phaidra Knight, gracing us with her presence here once again. And on that note, Matt McCarthy for Rugby Wrap-Up on behalf of my esteemed guests here at the Fantasy Sports Network Studio 34 on West 35th Street in New York City, signing off.